Welcome to Creative Mornings. Definitely some new faces here. It's awesome. It's what we love. We love to see. So, quick spiel. Creative Mornings is a global community, but here locally we host an event at Orr Street, beautiful Orr Street, the third Thursday, or no, Friday. The third Friday of every month. I say that every month, and I always like mess it up somehow. Yes, the third Friday of every month, and so we always have a local speaker here to tell their story and talk about a global theme. So every month there's a global theme that all the chapters speak on. This month is vibrant. So I've got a little deal here to talk about the theme in a little bit more detail, and then we're going to do a fun little icebreaker. I don't know what that was, but it's a long one. So our theme for May is vibrant. When was the last time you experienced something that made you feel more alive? Heard a melody pulsing with a beat that made your body move? Taken in the view of a lush landscape or sparkling city skyline bursting with lights and shadows? Locked eyes with a striking stranger? Hey, Friday morning, baby! Pour yourself into prose that crackles off the page with electricity. Lost track of time in a conversation punctuated by spirited laughter. Stopped in your tracks in front of a canvas in a museum or a mural on the street of colors so bold and so bright it popped from the paint straight into your synapses. It might not happen every day, but you can live a life full of energy and enthusiasm. You can strive to bring brightness into every interaction, because our world is full of all kinds of vibrant masterpieces, and you are one of them.
Aww.
Come on. So, on that topic, as you might expect, I want to hear about what's vibrant in your life right now. So we're talking about, looking in people's eyes, talking about city skylines, something that made you feel more alive, vibrant. Where are we at?
Hi, I'm Alyssa, and I have a 2.5-year-old and a 1-year-old, and the two of them are starting to laugh together.
Oh,
and that feeling is like worth not sleeping for 2 years, every
Come
night,
on.
So.
I don't even think we need another one. That's good. I like that. That just makes you feel good. I just got back from Disney. That's a pretty vibrant place. Yeah, a lot of vibrance going on there. Really brings out your inner child. It makes you kind of see the world differently. It was a great trip. But yeah, that's my vibrance. Who else? Who's got something vibrant going on in their life or happened recently?
Okay, well, it's not Disney, but I just got back from the Badlands in South
Yeah.
Dakota, and it was amazing. And the winds were blowing 50 miles an hour, which was very enlivening. And there was a donkey at the ranch we stayed at that you could pet it between its eyes, and it would try to follow you in the house like a dog. It was so sweet and giant, but sweet.
I love when you get to interact with animals like they're pets, but they're like different, like a donkey or something. Yeah. There's you feel a connection, Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Let's do one more. There we go.
I'd like to say that I really like bugs, and I'm enjoying the cicada bloom.
Oh.
Right now, my children are just in heaven with them. So we are out in the yard, and we're counting numbers every day, and they're trying to save them from my dogs, who also like to eat them. And the cicadas are crawling up our arms, and it makes me so happy when my kids are like, "Look, Mom," and they've got a handful of them, and I love their music. I'm a nature girl. I like being outside. So when I heard the cicadas last night, I was like, this is amazing.
I do like the music as well. Yeah. Everything else, I don't know. But
I'm a bug crazy.
no, it's great. Vibrant masterpieces. Cicadas. Vibrant masterpieces. There we go.
Their music is vibrant. Their eyes are bright.
Yes. They are actually they are kind of pretty. Yeah. If you give them a chance,
And they're amazing.
Wow. I didn't expect cicadas. I completely forgot that was happening. Yeah. That's going to be like all summer. Yeah. Good. No, that's good. That's good, right? Okay. A couple shout outs. First of all, Orr Street Studios. Let's give it up for Orr Street. a great ambassador for the community. They open their doors, literally. Doors are open right now for all sorts of events, including Soul Sessions, which you'll hear more about here soon. But yeah, Orr Street's been a great partner. It's always fun. I always love coming in here to help set up because it always looks different in here. There's always new stuff, new exhibits, and so yeah, shout out to Orr Street. Also, love to give a shout out to Love Coffee. That is who brought us the delicious pastries, homemade pastries, and coffee. They have an event June 1st. They're partnering with Buck's Ice Cream, which I completely forgot about. I forgot that's the one on campus, the Mizzou one. That is delicious. You get it at graduation, or I think it's like when you're a freshman or something like that. But yeah, so good. June 1st. They have locations on Business Loop and Keene Street, so definitely check them out. They are a nonprofit, so yeah, they need all the support they can get, but they were generous enough to provide us with coffee and pastries today. So, like I said, Creative Mornings is a global organization. So there's 238 chapters in 69 countries. So we are not alone in gathering today. And in fact, you can see all the folks gathering today, including us, all over the world. I think Chicago's on here. They're doing it at 8:30. I don't know. Maybe we should consider moving to later. I don't know. We actually have a survey coming out later today. You'll all get one that's asking about certain times that work best for you for these events. But yeah, another page of just more events all happening on the 17th all over the world. So very cool stuff. I want to give a shout out to our volunteer team. If you haven't noticed, the last two events have been a little bit more put together, a little bit more organized, a little less chaotic. That has everything to do with our organizers and day of volunteers. So literally we would not be doing this without them and our sponsors. So yeah, I want to give a shout out, and if you're interested in volunteering, especially like if you want to help out day of, help set up and stuff, we can use all the help we can get. So feel free to reach out to us on social or Columbia@creativemornings.com. You can shoot us an email if you're interested. So, if this is your first Creative Mornings, we kick things off usually with the manifesto, which is, it kind of just sets the tone. It kind of just sets the tone for the day. I do need a volunteer, though, to read the manifesto. Who wants to give it a go? TK? TK wants to do it? Oh, Nancy wants to do it.
Nancy, yes, Nancy. Nancy wants to do it. She's more than welcome.
There was a hand. There was a hand. Yeah, absolutely.
I'm Nancy. Am I holding this in the right place? Okay. Everyone is creative. A creative life requires bravery and action, honesty, and hard work. We are here to support you, celebrate with you, and encourage you to make the things you love. We believe in the power of community. We believe in giving a damn. We believe in face-to-face connections, in learning from others, in hugs and high fives. We bring together people who are driven by passion and purpose, confident that they will inspire one another and inspire change in neighborhoods and cities around the world. Everyone is welcome.
Absolutely. Everyone is welcome. Everyone is creative. All right, it's time. Sarah, do you want to intro?
It's so hard to intro someone like Radisha, but yes, I will.
There we go. All right, I'm going to pass things off to our organizer, Sarah.
Hi, friends. Thanks for coming this morning. I am a little nervous to do this just because I have been inspired by Radisha even through social media just from afar. So I actually got to meet her like in person and talk to her for more than 5 seconds at previous Creative Mornings. So I'm very honored now to call her a friend. I told her we're stuck together. But when we think of this month's theme, vibrant, think of enthusiasm and joy and passion. And admittedly, Soul Sessions is something that we on the Creative Mornings team have been like kind of curious about. We've seen the promotions on social media. It just looks like really fun, engaging, really incredible events around town, and we want more and more people to know about it and be able to support this crew and Renisha's team and just help support our community. So with that, I'm very, very excited to bring up Renisha Duke to talk to us today about her journey and Vibrant.
Hey everybody. Hey y'all. Good morning. I'm honored and blessed to be here. I'm an early riser. I kind of call myself a hybrid. I'm a night owl and an early bird because I also listen. I'm a mother of 2 small children, but before I was a mother, I was an aunt and a community mother. I was a foster care worker as well, so children are near and dear to my heart. But I am excited to be here. So I've only been able to attend 1 Creative Mornings, but kind of like Sarah said, being a creative in this community, you gotta do your research and keep your ear to the streets. And so I had heard of Creative Mornings, and I'm just happy that I had opportunity to engage and interact with this group of people and meet all these beautiful faces. And so my theme that I get to speak on is about vibrant and vibrancy. And so when I found out what I would be speaking on, I love that word. I love vibes. I feel like I'm a vibrant person. I try to be a walking vibe just because we all go through things. And kind of like the manifesto said, like Mike said, like Sarah said, we're all creatives. We all have a vibe, whether it's a high frequency vibe, low frequency vibe, or in between. And then some of the words that stung when my synapses in my brain were thinking about how I wanted to conversate with you all. These are some of the things that came up. So connections and community, like we're doing here now. So I'm so happy to have come upon this creative community, to be inspired by all of you and all of the people across the big world. Expression. Expression is a big part of being vibrant. For me, we express ourselves through our emotions, our actions, the way we dress, the way we talk, the way we sing, and just the way we exist. Moments and memories, I think you can experience vibrancy and be vibrant when you actually take time to be present or just recollect on your life. You can get nostalgia, you can get sad, happy, go through a wave of emotions, but moments and memories really tie us to that vibrant energy. And then roots. I think some of the most pivotal places that I experience a vibrant energy have a deep connection to roots and history, or at least acknowledge or pay homage, because how can we really know where we're going if we don't know where we've been? Because there's nothing new under the sun, and we all often know that history repeats itself, but if we kind of keep ourselves in tune, we'll find our way. And then lastly, soul. Every single one of us have a soul. I innately believe that everyone has a vibrant soul, but through life, as many of us know, there may be things, people, places that we experience that may dim our vibrancy. But it's communities like this, people like you all, that help bring that back out and let our soul shine. Let us show everyone what we have to offer to the world. And before I move on, if you guys don't mind, if you do have a phone and you're not already following us, please, on Facebook, Instagram, I'm cooking up a TikTok and YouTube, but kind of strategic. I'm trying to watch Robin and take notes. She doesn't know, but I'm a secret fangirl every time. You're thorough. You're the real one. I'm telling y'all, she the truth. If you know what you know in the community here. But yeah, Soul Sessions Como. We need a little mo. Can I hear somebody say mo soul? Yeah, so Soul Sessions Como is a multifaceted arts and entertainment event planning company. We also do artist booking. We do a little bit of everything, but our mainstay and the thing we're most proud of and what kind of started us on our journey as an LLC now, we're not a nonprofit, we're an LLC, but we've been told that we might want to change our body. So that's something I've been ruminating, but we're in a transitional phase, and as I talk to you and take you through this conversation, I'll tell you a little bit about our journey, why we have been selected, and myself, to come and speak to this creative community as a creative, and just let you know a little bit more about us. So if you can, just follow us at Soul Sessions Como. We're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, we have a landing page as well. But if you just type us in Google, you will get hits from many of the media, documentaries. There's a really cool YouTube video that Mizzou Law did. Mizzou Law has an entrepreneur program, and I'm a baby entrepreneur. I'm only going on 3 years in the game, so I am growing, bumping my head, learning. Some of you that have been with me probably have seen and witnessed, and I appreciate some of the faces that I see in this crowd because they've been pivotal cornerstones to me getting here in front of you and us as a collective. So I'm just gonna start off by telling you guys a little bit about me, so you know who I am, and it'll give you a little insight to how I move in the world, where I come from. I am a Shawnee State native. If y'all don't hear, I got a little twang in my voice. Of course, I can code switch. I can do the hi, how are you all doing? But how are you all doing? But I prefer to say y'all. I'm a Southwest Missouri girl. So I come from Springfield, Missouri, Greene County, baby. 417. People don't know, well, if you know history and landscape, Springfield is the third largest city in our entire state of Missouri. We call it the Queen City. It's in the Bible Belt. So you'll hear me talk a little about gospel and those roots. But yeah, that's where I come from. When I was a little girl, that's me, right there, my sister Sonia. I have 5 siblings. I grew up in a blended family home, a little bit with my mom and dad. Me and my sister are the youngest. Fun fact, my dad is 14 years older than my mother. He'll be 74 in September. You know, he likes me young. So a lot of that soulful, old spirit energy kind of comes from him. My mom was born in 1964, so that's where you see that hippie vibe. But both of their, generations are infused into my millennial body. But I love my little sister. Then next, that's me in middle school. I went to Hickory Hills. That was a day we did a wax museum. And when I talk about moments and memories and connection to being vibrant, these all pictures are things that kind of ties into the iceberg that make my life vibrant. These next 2 slides I'm about to show. But we did a wax museum, and I was Marie Curie, the scientist. And although I didn't go on to be an actual scientist in biology, I am a social scientist. So I, after graduating high school, came to Columbia by way of Mizzou. So in 2009, I was a Tiger. I came, I joined my sorority at Mizzou. I met a lot of beautiful people. One of my best friends in line. And then I also was able to take classes at Columbia College as well. Fun fact, that math center is actually named after one of my sorority sisters. I'm a part of the Divine Nine, so I'm a member of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated. I crossed in the Chi Kappa chapter. But yeah, that's a little bit about that journey. And then here we are in present day. So this photo you see here is in this lovely venue that we're in. So outside of the live music and shows that we put on that show, the Soul Sessions, curating and cultivating safe spaces, creative spaces, we put on fashion shows. We contract and partner just with other groups in the community. This wonderful establishment, or the North Village Arts District, to put on events that bring us together, that also uplift and showcase all the hidden gems and beautiful souls and vibrant souls that live right here in Mid-Mo. So that was our fashion show that we did. We partnered with a team of local Black-owned designers during Black History Month. That was our second fashion show we've done in Orr. It's called The Walking Art. We would love for you guys to come next year, because we're gonna have it again. We're gonna keep it going. But we showcased local designers, local people who model, as well as a vendor show that goes on. But that was our last show at the end of February. That dress I'm wearing is a custom dress made by Frankie Carmen. You can find some more of her garments in the Sharp End on Walnut, right by Ready, across from the post office, the new hub. So I implore you all to check it out. There's something for everyone there. Even if you're like, I don't want to shop, go check out and support a local entrepreneur and buy a gift for someone. And so, yeah, this is a little bit about me. So that picture right there, I love art, y'all. I'm just a people person, an everyday person. I was blessed that both of my parents had their individual things they were into, so I got to be in the community a lot as a child, which kind of had a lot to do with how I'm so involved now. But I go to St. Louis every year in St. Louis. I love traveling. And so in St. Louis on the riverfront around August or September, they have a huge weekend where the wall on the river is tagged by graffiti artists, muralists. So if you guys ever have time, I implore you, if you like art, you like St. Louis, going by the river, it's a great time. But I picked this one because that was one of my favorites that I saw. This was right around the time she had just passed, which we're coming up upon again. And I just loved it, and I love music. And if you love soul and rock and roll, you gotta love Tina. Ain't that right?
That's right.
And shameless plug. Next weekend, Violet of Compass and Phil Sean, if you're in the music community, you know those names, and a plethora of other talented vocalists and artists are going to be putting on a tribute to Tina Turner. So some of the vocalists that have came and performed and sung and featured at Soul Sessions will also be there. So I encourage you all to buy a ticket and support the Blue Note and support that collective and pay homage to a great queen that gave us a lot of good vibes through her music. And she's a native to Missouri, you know. And then just lastly, these three, and I'm gonna move on next. Currently, what I do, I am a social worker by day, so I work for the Central Missouri Area Agency on Aging. So I know that's like a mouthful, but basically in a nutshell, you know how there's child protection services or social welfare for children? Well, the demographic that I primarily work with now are 65 and plus, our baby boomers, our aging population, but we do serve a plethora of people in the community, all wards, and we are the Central Missouri Agency for all of Mid-Mo. So we don't just serve Boone County, but if you ever have anyone in this community that you know needs additional support as they age through life, because Lord willing, we all will continue our journey. There's so many things, and I'm sure everyone in here probably has a testimony to something they've experienced with a loved one, a friend that is, aging, and may need assistance in staying where they want to stay and not being displaced, or just on those day-to-day things that we have to do as humans, need a little help on the way. So that's what I do in the daytime. Prior to working at Aging Best, I was with Great Circle, which is now KBC, for 7 years. I was a foster care case manager when I was there. I served in Boone, Howard, Randolph, Crawford counties. At one point, I was a legal guardian of 23 children outside of my own. And as anyone knows in social work, human services, the scales are tipped. A lot of times we often experience burnout. And so I say all this to say that Soul Sessions has kind of been a segue and has merged into my day job because we've been able to do a little philanthropy and serving our community. But that's what I do in the daytime. I wear many hats, so I'm a mother, I'm a poet. This is me speaking at Ward Street's open mic event they had, but I also sing as well. And this is important when I talk about roots. So like I said, I'm from Springfield, Missouri, but this shack right here is in Wright County in Hartville, Missouri, where my mother's lineage comes from. And this is the shack, and I've actually got to be here. I took this picture of the first shack and house and location that my great-grandmother, Beatrice Lucille Tompkins, had the first of her 13 children. And 3 of them are still living. My grandmother is deceased, rest in peace, but family and roots are really important. So even though I'm not from Columbia and Boone County, Columbia is my home, and I'm a Missouri baby and native, and I love rich, deep history. I love paying homage to my ancestors and those that came before me, and it just gives me a cornerstone and a center to remember that I come from a long line of resilient people, because of course they built this, my great-granddaddy. So just showing you through all facets of life how we emerged creation and vibrancy. And so shout out to my ancestors. I love them. And I'm gonna move on. That's a little about me. This is my last slide about me. I cannot talk about myself without talking about my children, like Alyssa said. Anyone that's a mother knows motherhood is the best hood, okay? I'll bang all day for motherhood. I don't condone violence, but for another mother, I'll get with you. So I can't talk about myself unless I talk about my babies. So this is my 8-year-old daughter, Nace Marie Duke. She's a songstress, a model as well. I was blessed that she got to do voice lessons at Compass with Kona Ossie. If anyone knows Kona, she sings with Rashira Knight and the Honey Doves. I think she's probably going to be a part of the event, next weekend. But I've been blessed. She naturally got it from me and my mom, but she sings she can sing. Like, I can sing, I can carry a note, I'm an alto. That's one thing about me too. I do sing. So I haven't performed at our showcases yet. I'm working my way because I'm more in my business, entrepreneur, creative mode. But I do sing at church. I go to Log Providence Missionary Baptist Church, one of the oldest Black churches, kind of out towards Ashland, where Lakeside Ashland was built. That road, you take that and you turn on Log Providence, dirt road. But I'm a Baptist baby, so I like going to Deep Roots, but that's my sugar mama. And then that's my son, little Terrell Amir Davison. He's 4. He will be starting kindergarten at Beulah Ralph Elementary in fall. So any mom knows I'm emotional wreck. I'm trying not to coddle and baby him too much, but that's my baby. And then this cute little girl, if anyone knows Nicole Ray of Rain, she started a new endeavor, Mode Movements and Music. She's another one of my big mommy and creative friends. And me, her, Adrienne Luther of Cafe B, and then Alex Gordon, she may come, one of my previous friends and business partners, we had a meeting to plan FemFest, an event I'm gonna tell you about. And her daughter was watching us, and she made this picture for us. And I love it because if anyone sees me, like you see in the picture on the last slide, I always wear this bucket hat that says Protect Black Women that I got from a local Black woman that owns a boutique here. But she got the details, honey. She got my little locks. That was Adrienne, I think. Because Adrienne had a hat, a little beanie hat. That's her mother, of course, because I think Nicole's like a ginger. And then that's Alex, because Alex has a little short. But just wanted to add that is because children are a big part of what I do. So prior to working with an older population, I worked with children who had behavioral issues on the spectrum, of course, and then I was a foster care worker. So my heart goes out to those. You know, not everybody has a mom and a dad, and so when I can step in and be a part of a village and nurture children and impact children, that's something that I want to do. And it just is a testament to just depending on how you move, and no matter how you move, the children are watching and they're inspired, and then they create. She just created some art just off of us collabing, so I just wanted to share that. And then this is a picture that I took. I need to take some more family pictures, I'm behind. But I'm a millennial, so I'm always on my phone, but I do need to schedule a shoot. But this is a photo taken by Brendan Hawkins. He does Capturing a Masterpiece. He's one of our main photographers that we book for our shows and our events that capture the essence of what we do. So if you follow us on social media, you'll see collab posts with him. I implore you to check out his page and book him. We're all about collaboration over competition. So yeah, that's a little bit about me. So enough about me. Let me tell you about some of the creative things I do in this community with some of the people in this room and beyond. Gotta start at the beginning. So a lot of people are like, what's Soul Sessions? Or a lot of people, when they feel like I find out I'm associated, they don't know, like, they think I'm just like a brand ambassador or just a socialite maybe that's promoting, but no, baby. I'm one of the original owners and founders. I'm the one who came up with the name Soul Sessions, inspired off another group in another city that does similar to what we do. We're a microcosm of a macrocosm. But these individuals are the core team that brought the inception of what Soul Session is today to you. So Soul Session started as like a passion project. Like I said, I'm a social worker, and burnout is real, and living a balanced and holistic lifestyle was important to me. So when I wasn't being a mommy, when I wasn't working, I love to travel, I love to vibe, I love to have a good time. And JRTs, this individual right here, a lot of you may know him as Josh Reynolds, one of my original business partners and founders. At the time we started Soul Sessions, he was an air resident at Ford. And a lot of times, I'm always posting on social media, and he hit me up one day when I was out of town at a spoken word and said, well, listen, he said, hey sis, like, I love that vibe, I wish we had that here. And I was like, well, you know, let's do something. You're already programming, throwing all events. So he's like, all right, I got an idea, I'm gonna cook it up. And then he cooked it up, came back to me, DeAndre Thompson, Keandre Harrison, and then Takia. Even though Takia isn't like an official, you know, owner, business operator of Soul Session, she's like literally the assistant CEO. I know she ain't gonna take that title, but her force and her presence and just support to us has been pivotal. A lot of times she's at our shows giving out the raffles. A lot of times she helps facilitate some of the gifts that we give from local businesses in the community, because at every show, just like you got a ticket when you came in, we do give a raffle to give gifts and to give more exposure to other businesses and things that we like in the community. But us 5 individuals in September of 2021 came together and we threw our first event at Press Rooftop Bar, September 25th. So this right here is the first 3 Soul Sessions that we actually did. So we kind of jumped the gun when we started Soul Sessions, and like I said, I'm a baby entrepreneur. So we didn't know if this was something we were gonna keep going, but we were like, let's just test it. We had trouble finding places and spaces that cultivate the type of energy, essence, bring the type of culture that we wanna experience and that we have to offer. So we said, instead of continuing to travel out of town or bring people out of town, like, let's cultivate and curate our own space. Let's bloom where we're planted. You know, let's affect the community that we're in off of our talents and skills and collectively as a unit. So our first event was at Prest Rooftop Bar. Rest in peace, Prest. Has anyone else in here been to Prest before? Okay, good. So yeah, it was a dope rooftop bar on Walnut by the courthouse. And so Soul Sessions Como is a live arts and entertainment company, like I said. But our mainstay is our live showcase every month or bi-monthly, depending on what we have going on. And so these are our first two main artists. We have Hana Kanasi, who actually over this last year got signed a record deal. She's a wonderful young woman. And then Sifa B, a lot of people should know Sifa. Sifa headlined at the last Fruits and Blues, which turned into Treeline. And she's gigged with us, and then she's just, you know, if you've heard her, you know. And then we have an eclectic group. A lot of people may think that Soul Sessions is just for a certain demographic, but we have people from all walks of life, social stratifications, education backgrounds, whether you're just a community member, a student, a grad student. So our first DJ who was with us for our first shows was DJ Soul. His name's Martin Solomon, and he was over Mizzou Athletics football, but he left us to go work for Georgia. But hey, I can't blame him. God takes it back. He's a daddy. But yeah, so what we created our platform for was to showcase ourselves as artists, local creatives, but also connect with our community. Our original idea was to create like an intergenerational, soulful just kind of experience where people of all ages can come together to share music, art, and just creative connections and experiences, and also to elevate all of us so that we can continue to climb the social mobility ladder and just enjoy ourselves. And so our second event was at Prest, and then we had a Taylor Thomas, who is still a Columbia local artist. Savon was a student, but he's back in Kansas City now, a wonderful vocalist. And then The Reason, check him out. So I know a lot of people think of Nick Danger, and there's a couple other names I could start as far as music and producing actually in the industry, but this young man does numbers. He's one of the reasons why that show, we maxed capacity Prest, and we had to move, but he is a Columbia native, and he's a great vocalist. He just released some new music, so please check him out. He's linked to our page. But yeah, these are our first three events. This graphic was made by Josh. So all of our marketing and graphics were done internally by our team, unless someone that we worked with. So a lot of our first original flyers Josh curated during his time here. And sometimes we change the template. Josh is like walking art, so he of course loves to infuse himself in the flyers. He's a Leo too. He's a Leo, so ego. But I mean, he's a dope individual, so Soul Sessions wouldn't be here without him. So I always gotta shout out. But I did want to shout out Dogmaster. Rest in peace, Dogmaster. Shout out to Lisa. And then, even though we're operating a business, we don't have a liquor license yet or a brick and mortar. So we rely heavily in our operations and events that don't already have a bar, or we contract with Dogmaster to bring in their pop-up bar. And so we have some bomb $5 cocktails at shows. Barbie, Paul, our favorite bartenders. But we really have been blessed to be able to cultivate business partnerships and connections to create the vibe that we have been striving for since we started doing what we were doing, which was just a passion project that turned into a labor of love for me. But I want to give you a little bit of history. Why is Soul Sessions important? Why is it needed? I don't know if everyone in here has a good historical insight to just this area that we're in now, the entire downtown area. And in regards to Black business, I am a Black woman. Soul Sessions is a Black-owned minority business. And so I like to make relevant connections to what we're doing to our past and how impactful and important we are to our community. Boone County's history, Columbia's history. So does everybody know about the Sharp End? Everybody knows about Blind Boone. A lot of people don't know that this area was a part of the Chitlin Circuit back in the day. The Chitlin Circuit, if you don't know what that is a circuit throughout America where artists, and a lot of times artists of color, had to go gig and play as they traveled and tried to do their music. And a lot of people don't know, but Columbia was one of those stops that a lot of some of the greatest jazz musicians, singers, vocalists have came through over time, even up today to the Blue Note. But one of the things we did when we started Soul Sessions was just trying to conceptualize, connecting where we want to go to where entertainment spaces that we're trying to cultivate have been in Columbia. And although there have been spaces similar to what we cultivate, there are still barriers, there's still erasure, there's still after effects and side effects of some of the social and some of the institutional things that have kept certain groups of people that look like me out of certain spaces, out of certain opportunities to progress, out of just even being able to be a business owner and hold space in this community. So we like to point out, that Columbia is a great place, because although just like any other place in America, we live in America. Missouri was one of the last states during the Civil War, blood Kansas. It's not just about KU and MU. We gotta be real about our history, who we are, how we got here. And so we've been blessed that a lot of the venues, and this venue, North Village Arts District, the Blue Notes, the Atrium, and places near where the Sharp End and a lot of these music places throughout time, they've welcomed us in, where historically over time, as you can see, during divesting, urban renewal, rezoning, we've been subjugated, outcast. So we kind of see Soul Sessions as a revitalization, but also a way to pay homage and bring back that vibrant spirit that used to inhabit this community before, institutional racism and all of those complex societal ills came upon this area. But I will say Como and just creative community here, Creative Mornings, is a testament to the growth of where we came. We still have a long way to go, but I'd like to say Creative Mornings, shout out to y'all, because y'all are part of the change. You're bringing people together. A lot of times in the digital society, I'm an analog girl living in a digital world, and although I may look like a city girl, I'm a nature girl too. I like to hike. I like caping the pinnacles. I live off Scott by the MK Tree Trail. I love being outside. I love going creeking, camping. I was a Girl Scout. I love nature, but history, ties to roots, and having deep ties to your history and roots can help create a more vibrant community, because we are aware of the things that have happened. And I believe, I got this statistic, I think, from Nikki Davis over the district over the years, because she's done a lot to try to bring in different groups of people in this area, but I believe less than 5% of the business owners in this area are people of color. And so that's something that I'm also going to speak to as a businesswoman, because a lot of the spaces that are ideal to host what I produce and create need to be here. But I will say I'm thankful that there are some things on the horizon. And like I said, there are groups and organizations like OR who have been a part of making sure we're integrated. We're different groups, marginalized groups that have been cast out or forgotten, downtrodden, are reintegrated back into our society and our community. And the McKinney Building, is a hot topic right now, and I implore anyone, if you don't know, just Google it, or if you're on social media, I usually use the social media search bars because you can find content articles a lot quicker. If I'm hearing about something that I haven't caught yet, I'll just type it in. So type in the McKinney Building Como and it'll pull up a whole bunch of articles. But a group of people are trying to decide what to do to revitalize that space, because that was a place where a lot of the Black art and music happened here in Columbia before all of the restructuring, the rezoning, and all of that. So long-term goals, we don't have a brick and mortar yet. We kind of rotate and we travel around, but we would love to. My long-term vision manifesting is to have a place downtown that we own and operate, that we can produce our shows out of. Although we love the Blue Note and we love OR, we'd love to have our own, especially knowing the history and the statistics. And why not us? Why can't we have our own building too, in our own place, in our own tech and production? So those are some of the things we're working on, but we're thankful for everyone who's a part of what we do now. So that's just a little history of why we think Soul Sessions is important and our connection to the community. And like I was saying, although we don't have our own space, and although, you know, that historic timeline, you know, has inhabited this area, we've been blessed. So these are some of the first venues, look what's up here, that had welcomed us in, because a lot of times as creatives, you all know, people have a hard time conceptualizing your ideas, things you want to do. And so when you find business owners, other people like Dawn right there, who are open to something new and innovation, vibrance, energy, encompassing a space, we're very thankful. Just knowing that history, because it's very pivotal to us for growth, exposure, and to be in places like this with all of you lovely people. The main place we do showcase, because it's, if you're a musician and an artist, you know, that's where you want to perform. There have been countless musicians, countless comedians that have came through that stage. It's a staple in Columbia. Even prior to it being the Blue Note, it was another name, and a lot of people don't know there was another venue that used to be what I think Slackers is now. That actually used to be another theater and venue, and then there's another one by Shop Bar that has not been used for years, so maybe all of us can put something together and cultivate and get.
Right? Wasn't that the old Panera?
Yeah, it used to be a Panera, but a lot of people don't know, and a lot of people have been in. That's it was original intent and purpose was a music, like a production theater. I can't think of the name right now, but Hall Theater. Thank you. It's in my mind, but yeah, you know, when we started, we were doing our research in history, and so I didn't know that, you know, but of course, over time, economies change, buildings change, but Columbia has a deep, rich history when it comes to art and music. And a lot of pivotal people have come out of this community that affect the brighter international landscape of what we all have to offer. Our fourth event, we were able to do a collab Christmas event at the Atrium. We got to be at Gold Bar, which is now again Penguin Bar, and I've been in contact because I'm thinking about trying to cook up an event because we loved it. At the time we had our event there, it was owned by Adrian Pryor. He used to own a club called Plush. He also owned some businesses in Moberly, but we were blessed to be there. And then Shelter Insurance Gardens. This is our first flyer from our first annual Juneteenth celebration with Shelter. And if you've never been to their gardens, I implore you to go because it's beautiful. So much foliage, flower, fauna that you can see and experience. And that vibrancy that Mike was talking about in that description, the flowers, the plants, just the color, or the other people walking through the garden that you may see. But I would love to see all of you June 15th. So I'll show you the new flyer later. We're having it again this year, the third annual. So June 15th in the Shelter Gardens, we'll have a free community show. And it's kind of like a family cookout, family reunion, barbecue. And I'll see if I can play a video, or if you are going to follow our social medias, you'll be able to see our recap video from last year pinned to the top of our page. All right, so when we talk about being vibrant and vibrancy, one of the key words I put on that first screen was community and connection. And although we are a for-profit business, being a social worker and a mother, I'm always constantly thinking about ways to give back. And the beautiful people that started Soul Sessions, we all have that same desire. Even though we don't have a big capacity, we still can influence positive change to our community. So one of the things we did at that Atrium event, we did a raffle and we raised money. Everyone knows about Como Gives campaign, and so me being a previous foster care worker and knowing the work that Como Gives, Adoption, Foster, and Connect provide, we chose them and we were able to give them money to help go towards buying supplies for children that just come into care. As a social worker, as a foster care manager, I've seen so many things, and seeing a child displaced and not having anything to take to their new home that they've never been with new people, the things that Como Foster Adoption do, they provide welcome baskets. So some of the money that we raised went toward getting new welcome baskets for some of the kids. There's over about 500 children in Boone County alone that are in care, Midmo alone. So yeah, if you have it in your heart, I definitely implore you to give back. Support Harding Missouri CASA. Love them. Moving Ahead is a local nonprofit. We had an after party after our first Juneteenth, and we gave part of the proceeds to Moving Ahead, which is the after school program. And we gave them a check, and that's JR Tiz, that's Josh, with one of the kiddos on one of the organizers. So that was something we were very happy about. And this is a thank you card from the Como Foster Adopt Board, just saying thank you for what we do. They were able to, thank you to your various generous donations, we were able to surpass our $5,000 goal. So even though we're a baby business, we're grassroots, you know, we're not in big profit margins yet, we're still having a positive impact on our community through art and music. And through the beautiful people that come to our shows, because people were buying them raffles, and that's why we were able to give that. And so, paid compensation for artists. A lot of people have a misconception, or they're just unaware that any artist that comes and features, and all of our musicians, they get compensated for their time, talent, and skill. And being that Soul Sessions was started by a group of creatives and an artist, we wanted to make sure that we're implementing a different strategy and way of going about, you know, paying people their worth, you know, inherently, you know, addressing their value, no matter how big or small, but letting them know, like, your time, your energy, your soul, your talent are valuable. You deserve to be compensated. And as many creatives know, for me personally, we struggle with how to monetize our art and our creations. And so that's probably one of the things I'm most proud of. Like, our first year operating, which probably wasn't a good business idea, but we were new. We probably paid out close to $13,000, $14,000 to artists and musicians. So for being a grassroots org, our first year, that's something I'm proud of, because we were able to at least, you know, maybe somebody paid their car note, their insurance, bought themselves some food, or, you know, a couple of the artists that have came through our stage, actually a lot, this gig was maybe their first paid gig that led to another booking, or them creating their own LLC so they can book and contract themselves for their own gigs. And then just cultivating vibrant spaces. So, am I doing okay on time?
I was just gonna say that, what, 4 minutes?
Okay, I'm almost done. We're almost done. I'm walking you home. I just wanted to point out these things just because we do more than just throw a party. We're trying to have a social footprint. We want to be a staple. We are a staple. This business was birthed in Boone County, so we plan to be here. But we create vibrant spaces. And so that's a little bit about who we are, what we do. We've had, at this point, 30 plus shows in the community since 2021, plus special events. So we're very proud. And so that thing I have up there is just a montage of our first 8 shows. And actually, I did bring something. I was talking to somebody though, and I set it down. So, does anyone know what I did? I had a group of flyers, a stack of old flyers. No. Mike came and asked me to take a picture, or one of them, and I think I set it down, but I want to pass them around real fast. They were long and big. I'm sorry, y'all, this is just part of my personality. I'm a Capricorn moon, Gemini, Capricorn sun, Gemini moon, Pisces rising, so I can be an airhead at times. Well, watch, I'll probably find them after the fact. I really wanted to pass them around, but yeah, go ahead. Yeah, thank you, Robin. But I had some bigger prints of just some of our old flyers and artists. But anyways, moving along, so I can conclude. I just want to shout out some of our first sponsors. So, you're the man.
I was wondering what they're doing over there earlier.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna pass these out. Y'all can just look at them and pass them along. Thank you, Queen. All right, so those are just some of our flyers. I'm really big on collecting, keeping memories. So every print flyer that we have, we try to keep, because I want to create a collage, albums, I scrapbook and things. I'm kind of the matriarch for my family and a historian. So just, it's nice to have something tangible, and that's art, you know? Yeah, so wanted to talk about our sponsors from the beginning of our journey. Crack Mobile, I want to shout out Michael Fields, Luana, Costello Blanco. That Crack Mobile van helped us get our instruments to the venues that weren't set up for PA, so we love Michael. Liberty Cannabis helped with a couple of our first events. Veterans United over our first 2 years was a major sponsor. And then Holiday Inn, when I was an undergrad, I worked as a front desk clerk at Comfort Suites, and I made connections, and so we have a hotel sponsor with the Holiday Inn and Marriott for when we bring features out of town, we get to put them up. We show them hospitality. You know, I also got to be a Columbia Tourism Ambassador for the CVB, so hospitality and customer service is really in my wheelhouse as well. Just wanted to shout them out though, and there are about 9 to 12 individuals in this community that have contributed to what we do. I'm almost done, y'all. So lastly, I just want to point out the multifaceted elements of what we do and all the beautiful people that come together to create the vibe at Soul Sessions and our event. So one of our first key musicians, Trevor Phillippe. So we had a meet and greet our first year just to let people in the community know what we do. And Trevor gave a testimonial. He's been one of our main sax players, but he has gone on to do phenomenal things. He was 19 years old when he started playing. I think of Kenny G, but he's Trevor P. So if you don't know him, get to know him. He does the Third Friday Jazz Jams with Lloyd Warden, like they had it last night at Cafe B. And yeah, Lloyd is awesome. A lot of the musicians and singers have studied under him. If you know music in Columbia, you know he's that dude too. Vendors, we give opportunity and space like Creative Mornings is doing for Soul Sessions to expose their business, sell their products. So I am a Black woman, so a lot of the vendors that we initiated when we started this were women of color that had their own businesses but may not have had a brick and mortar, gave them the opportunity to sell. So this is Jackie from Jeff City. We have people that travel from all over Midmo to come to Como. She sold out all her wigs, y'all. She's a hairstylist. She sold out all her units at our show at the Blue Note that she did in February of 2022. So she's a big advocate. This is Bridget. She owns Artistry Salon in Columbia. She's a big proponent. She's actually the woman that started my locks too. I didn't always have locks. I cut them recently, they were longer. And this is Kaya, past resident of Ord, Columbia native. She's in Kansas City now, dope artist. You can find her info on our page. This is Devin Battle, another artist. These are our first 3 live artists. So we have live art. We have another live artist in the building that has been a part of our events, Miss Davis of Fiber Creations. She doesn't like to, you know, but I gotta brag, because if you know about this one, y'all, she a cold piece. Very talented fashion designer, curator, artist. So we've been blessed to interact with a lot of creative souls, and we welcome anyone. If you know anyone that's trying to showcase their art, talent, or just want a good vibe, tell them to come. We'd love to have you and share just all of what Columbia has to offer. And so, lastly, on the horizon, vibrancy is, you know, it's life. We all have a vibe. And like the description said, I like to think of everyone that's part of Soul Sessions as local vibe dealers, not just myself. I'm inspired by so many people that I get to deal with on this journey. So we want you to come vibe with us and add your frequency, you know. Josh used to say, and we all usually say, it's about community and unity and you and me. So we can't do what we're doing without you. All right, so our next show, we got a show. You can buy tickets on the Ticketmaster or the day of at the box office. The Blue Note is a cashless venue, so that's why we do love being able to come to venues like Ord, because as you still know, we still have a lot of people who are old school and cash is king to them. So that's one of the things that, you know, I don't really like, but I love the Blue Notes. We love that whole team. We've been blessed to curate a good relationship. And so next, at the end of the month, the last Friday of the month, we will have 1122, which is a past feature. They featured 2 times. They're from Kansas City. They are amazing. If you like harmony, if you like soul, energy, coordination, they put on a phenomenal show. Our host, although Josh was our original host, but he's back in Chicago now, we welcome other individuals and vocalists to come and host and promote the features. Our collective, sometimes they jump in and sing covers. So Shakira is actually, you know, we have people from major metropolitan cities, Kansas City, that want to come to Columbia to show their art, to connect. So that's another great thing. And they love it, and they love the crowd, because come on people, we cool people, you know what I'm saying? Even though I'm a Greene County baby, I consider myself like a Boone County person now, I claim it. So please come, we have spoken word, we'll have dance, drinks, it's a good vibe, but this was their first time coming. This is Devin Shavers, I actually went to Mizzou with him. He's a teacher now, he came from St. Louis, is one of our first spoken word poets. We have some of his footage and content on our pages, so you can check him out. Then, these are an example of some of our special events. So the mainstay, like I said, is our show, but we put on community events. So we get approached by businesses like Shelter and The Village, which is a local grassroots organization in the Black community, to cultivate events for the community. And this is one of our proudest productions and accomplishments is the Juneteenth Freedom Celebration, because as you know, our nation in Colombia are just now starting to acknowledge that significant time. And I'm sorry if I offend anyone when I say this, but that is the real July 4th. My ancestors were not free, they were not emancipated. One of my favorite poems is What is July 4th to a Negro, I think by Frederick Douglass. If I'm saying it wrong, forgive me, I'll send it or something, but literally, so I'm just very proud because Columbia is progressing. This year, I was able to sit on the City of Columbia and the CVB's Juneteenth committee to award over 11 grants to groups. So there's a lot of programming. So even if you can't make our event, which is free, bring a lawn chair, bring a group of friends. We have a lot of other Juneteenth programming happening all across Columbia. So I would love to see all of you there. I would love to see all of you at the parade on Juneteenth in the morning. Just like everyone shows up for the homecoming parade and Christmas, please show up for us, you know what I'm saying? If you're an ally, if you're a friend, if you just want to learn, because this is a significant time and we're just glad to be able to provide space for our community to come together and acknowledge our past while we forge a new path forward together. And then lastly, on the horizon, we have Fem Forward Fest. So Fem Forward Fest was just an idea that me and some ladies wanted to create kind of, you know, in the spirit of the Jane Doe review, which I had no clue and I can't wait. I heard someone say they might bring it back. Yes, so shout out to Robin and Kylie. But we plan to do this May 20, the weekend of next weekend. But once I had found out that, you know, the Tina Turner tribute was going on, I was like, oh no, like we're gonna pivot, and anyone that's a business owner, creative, that's a part of, you know, doing things and delegating and supporting other groups adds vibrancy to your life. So June 22nd, we will be at Cafe Berlin, and this will be the first time that the Moslo Collective 5-piece or 4-piece house band will be comprised of all women, feminine identifying, because as you know, I'm a champion for women, and we still have a lot of work to do as far as equity, exposure, and there are some dope, talented female artists and musicians in this community that deserve to be showcased. And I want to just add this little graphic because my original business partner, organizer, Josh, he's a real dope individual, and kind of the energy when you think of soul sessions is really future soul. So even though I'm a baby of a baby boomer, I was born in 1950, but I'm a millennial born in 1990, through music and art, through different genres, we're able to merge. And so I just wanted to read it because I think it's dope. Future soul, a soul genre within a reflection of past that projects futuristic sound whilst in our present cultural state. So not ignoring, you know, things that are going on in the future, but just finding a way to intergenerationally mix and fuse timelines, experiences, and sounds, vibrations, colors. So that's really all I have for you all today.